Hey everyone, it's me again, Tim, aka Nowski, and this is my video about semester 4 of Nurse Practitioner School. So if you haven't seen already, I did one where I talk about getting into Nurse Practitioner School, semester 1 and 2, and just recorded one where I talk about semester 3. This one is semester 4. I will say at the time I'm recording this video, I have actually already graduated from NP school, got my diploma here. It was a master's program. I went to Clemson. It was an adult gerontology primary care nurse practitioner program. But a lot of our courses, we were with the FNP students as well. If you haven't already watched my other videos, we took a lot of the same courses. A lot overlapped, but then we had our little specialty areas, FNP and AGNP. So in this video, I want to talk about the last semester of Nurse Practitioner School. This was where it all came together, and we had our final practicum. So within our final practicum, we actually did have a lecture portion to it. It's not like, and I think it depends on the school that you go to. Some do all their lectures, everything's at the beginning, and then you're just like, for the next semester or two, you're just all clinicals. So at Clemson, you take lectures and clinicals at the same time, and even for your final practicum, there was a lecture component and then a clinical component. And at Clemson, it was hybrid. A lot of it was, you might have been in class one week and then online the next week. And this was the semester where COVID-19 hit. Luckily, it was at the very end of our program. I should probably make a whole video where I talk about that. Well, no, I mean, that's basically what the last semester is. So I'll mention all that here. COVID-19 and how that interrupted the semester and what we all had to do. But anyways, it was our final practicum. And then I also took a healthcare policy and economics. So healthcare policy and economics, exactly what it was. It was just a lecture. So I took that with my practicum course. And so I'm just going to talk about that first. Healthcare policy and economics is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a lot of lecturing about policy and economics in healthcare. I'm going to go ahead and say it, it's not, I don't think anyone goes into NP school because they want to learn about healthcare policy and economics. I mean, some people probably do if you love to learn about like insurance and the financial aspects of healthcare and why our healthcare system is sucky, and I don't know. That's healthcare policy and economics. Taught by a good lecturer. We got to learn about different healthcare systems throughout the world, which was interesting. I remember that from one lecture. But I don't know. I'm not so much into all that. I want to take care of people. I hate the billing and the finance part of healthcare. It sucks, and it's very political. People are polarized about how it should be implemented. But you get to learn about that in that course. So that's healthcare policy and economics, and that's really all I want to say about that. But the biggest portion of the final semester is your practicum. I did my healthcare practicum. This is where you want to get lots of clinical hours in. I got to do part of mine. Mine was split. I ended up getting a preceptor in geriatrics at a major hospital system nearby, and then cardiology, but specifically their heart failure team. So it was really cool because I got to do a large portion with geriatrics, seeing older adults, and then got to still be with a specialty for part of my practicum too, and see the heart failure team. It was really cool. In this time, what did we have to do? Like 270 hours, or I should have looked that up before I made this video. But basically, you're just trying to get in lots of hours so that you can finish and graduate and become a nurse practitioner. But anyways, I was coordinating days. I'm still working. I was working part-time as a nurse, 2 days a week. Then trying to fit in clinicals with the geriatrics NP and then clinicals with the heart failure NP. And everything was going fine. Then COVID was starting to rear its head, and they were shutting down clinical sites. Preceptors were not allowed to bring in students. They just wanted less people in the healthcare setting, no one to bring in any sort of infections or risk of, any of that. So luckily, I finished my clinical hours just in time before they cut us off. In order to be able to sit for your board's exam, which is a national exam, you had to have a certain amount, which was 500 hours. So I met my 500 hours cutoff, luckily. Clemson they actually required us to do something like 675 hours. They had this, they had us do extra, but as long as we could get to 500, we were good to graduate. Clemson said, okay, you'll be able to graduate, and you'll be able to sit for your boards, which it was required to have that many hours to sit for boards, and you're good. So, it was cool for geriatrics. I got to be in the nursing home setting. We actually rounded on geriatric patients in the hospital as well, which our program let us do, even though we're a primary care program. If our preceptor was going to do some rounds in the hospital, we were allowed to go with them. So I got to take care of some patients in the hospital that way. Same with the heart failure team. I was in the office seeing heart failure patients in the office, but then we rounded in the hospital as well. So that was really cool to get to see both aspects of those jobs, because not every job is completely office-based and completely hospital-based. Some are, but a lot of them are. You might be in the hospital, you might be in the office. A good number of jobs are like that, which I think is pretty cool. I like the variety. So that was cool to see. And that was the fourth semester. Mainly practicum, and then a policy economics class to go along with it. And after that, we were able to graduate. The only thing I'll say is for us to actually be acknowledged that we're allowed to graduate, we had to pass an oral exam. It was this oral panel presentation. So I don't know if some programs do a thesis where you have to write a paper or something. Clemson has you present a project. So they give you some topics. They give them to you 72 hours before your presentation is to be given, and you have to be able to present the material well. So it was nice. They were able to ask us, what are some topics you're interested in? What did you do your research project on, a semester or two ago? And they made their questions based off of that stuff, which was nice. So basically, my program emails me 3 questions. I have to take these 3 questions, and it could be something like, how can a nurse practitioner be beneficial to a cardiology practice? And then I have to go ahead and gather information and research that shows nurse practitioners are beneficial in a cardiac practice and present that information. And they gave us 3 questions like this, and we had to develop a very nicely made PowerPoint and present this to a panel. So that was kind of the last big thing of graduating Nurse Practitioner School, was this oral exam presentation. They call it oral exam. It's more this big oral presentation, and they grade you on it. It's pass-fail. So that was the final thing to get through in order to be able to apply for graduation. So did that, finished NP school, graduated. I actually got my diploma in the mail the other day. They delivered it to my neighbor because they put the wrong address on it. I'm officially graduated. So from there, I think I'll do another video where I'll talk about, studying for boards and what that process is like, going from graduation to applying to take your exam, taking the exam, and all that. So look for that in another video. Thanks for watching this. I'm so happy to be done with Nurse Practitioner School. It was a beast. Graduating during COVID-19 while still working as a nurse was hectic. Anyone who's out there who is still working on the front lines of fighting this pandemic, more power to you. You are amazing people. Thank you for doing what you do. Whether you're a nurse, nurse practitioner, PA, doctor, CNA, respiratory therapist, all of you all are amazing. I'm hoping, this gets under control soon because it's crazy. I would love to go out and do all the things that I used to do, but me and my family are socially distancing. We're wearing masks and we're washing our hands a lot. So everybody else, please do that so we can get back to normal. All right, I'll see y'all in another video. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.